I've definitely been like that in my life where I'm like, I'm so tired, I'm not even gonna deal with this imminent threat. You ever like, yeah, do you ever just hear like, so you're like, is someone trying to break into my apartment? And I'm like, if I like, maybe I didn't lock the door. And I'm like, maybe I'll just get murdered.
Well,
I'm so tired.
Tired is the main reason I stay over most men's houses. Like, you know, like I should go. But we're already here.
Isn't it annoying when do you have the experience where they hold out for a long time where all of a sudden you're like, all right, like we're gonna go on a date, maybe we'll have a little sex later, and then it's like 4 a.m. and then they keep talking to you and you're like, when are you gonna touch me?
Literally,
like,
it's like
happening?
So your sister used to work at an accounting firm where and then you're like,
prior to that she worked at the Cold Stone Creamery.
Yeah.
Okay, and the thing about the Cold Stone Creamery is that like, you know, she had like, so she got really good biceps because you got to blend in the Butterfinger, you know, with the ice cream, and you're like, cool. Yeah, it sounds great.
Out he like wants to fuck his sister.
When they take you hostage and they make you just watch YouTube videos that they think are funny.
Yes.
Why do you guys do that?
Fuck him for trying to develop a connection. So,
YouTube videos.
Yeah, dude. I
have like 64 views. I know 60 of them are you.
One time I was super drunk leaving a date. Like we were back at my apartment. I was like, woke up the next morning. I was like, what the fuck did we watch? I remember watching shit. I went on my YouTube search history. And it was just like EDM festivals from 2012 that I really liked watching. I was like, holy shit.
I showed her that.
Yeah.
Like, the pain that women have endured in order just to get touched by men. And I know guys are like, yo, but like she like sometimes like talks about like, you know, like that her cat is sick. I'm like, yeah, that's annoying. I fucking get it. But like, why when we're like sitting on your bed, like, you're like, oh my God, dude, have you seen Salad Fingers? It's just like crazy video, dude. It's so funny, dude. It's so random. Anyway, dude.
We're nervous. We're nervous.
I think it's nice. I think it's cute when you're nervous.
I'm terrified.
I think it's good because
that's charming.
It's better than them being aggressive and rapey. Like, I'd rather them not.
Why are you looking at me?
You're coming at me. I'm feeling attacked. Yeah. I do. I talk for so fucking long. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I should probably, you know, make a move here at some point.
Right.
I've gotten so far into a point where like the furthest I ever got into a point where I'm like, is this guy going to do anything? Is we're hanging out like all night and just like sitting next to each other. And I'm like, okay, like he's gonna, and I'm just like, when is he gonna do anything? And then it gets super late. And I'm like, yeah, I'm really tired. I'm just going to go home. And he's like, oh, no, you can stay here. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. We're going to get into bed. And then he's like, I got a guest room. And I'm like, all right. And then he gives me pajamas. And I'm like, what the
Whose pajamas are these?
Yeah, no, he gives me like just like a shirt and some sweats. And I was like, all right. And then I go into the guest room and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I gotta go. Like, what is this?
I have a bed.
Yeah. And then I'm like, hey man, thank you so much for the hospitality. I'm gonna go. You know, I live a few blocks away, so I'm just gonna go. And he's like, oh, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, well, I just don't want to be like disrespect. I'm like, do you like me? If you don't like me, it's fine. Like, if we're just friends and everything, it's all good. And I'll even stay in I don't really want to walk home at like, 4 a.m. by myself.
Because we waited this long.
Yeah.
It's now 5.
And he's like, no, I do. I really like you. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, should we like sleep next to each other? Yeah. It was and he was like 35. Like he was like a grown ass man.
Sometimes it's the older ones. I don't know.
Gun shy.
Yeah.
I hate sleeping next to someone, even if I like them, even if it's my girlfriend. I'm like, this is fucked. This is sad. I would rather, it'd be so nice if I was alone.
Do you sprawl? Or you just get hot?
I don't know. I don't like to sleep cuddling with the hair in my face.
You don't need to
cuddle.
No, you can, because I don't like sleeping while cuddling.
You cuddle after sex and then your arm falls asleep and it's like, okay. Like,
yeah,
I get that your arm shouldn't be under my like rib for 8 hours. That's insane.
Yeah, I don't fall asleep cuddling ever. You fuck and then you like lay down a little bit and then you're like, all right, And then you do your own thing.
Yeah, but
turn completely opposite.
Yeah.
Turn.
I'm like, don't even touch. I don't even like when it's like that. You're like touching a little bit. I'm like,
get the
away
fuck
from me.
away from me.
Get you, if your toes
Even though
touching.
my thumb was just in your asshole. Like, I don't want.
If your like toe is touching like my calf, like I will have a panic attack. I'll fucking freak out.
If you turn and I feel the rustle of the sheets, I'm like, you should die. I hope you die.
But like I like to watch YouTube videos about aliens or the pyramids before I go to bed. So now I'm like, you're fucking up my whole flow here. Where I usually, this would be my YouTube time.
That's your habit before you go to bed?
Mm-hmm.
How does that play into your like dreams and just general well-being?
Yeah.
I don't know, pretty good. I like it.
I feel like that's a better. It's creepy when people listen to like ASMR or something before bed. Like, I almost sort of like how weird yours is.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just like ancient aliens clips playing while I go to bed, basically.
And then you fall asleep to it. Do you have to fall asleep with something on?
I like to. I don't have to.
I used to do that a lot, and it was because like after I was like in a relationship for a long time, and then you just like, it's weird because then you just stop. Like you share a bed with somebody for like years. And then you just stop, and then you're like, I am by myself. And then so I would have to go to sleep with something because I just would feel really weird to just like, I would just toss and turn and like think about a bunch of shit. But then I had to like wean myself off of it. And now I try as hard as I can. I do it actually pretty often. I just go to sleep with, I'm like, all right, time to go to bed. It's just bizarre. Sleeping is so weird because it's like you're tricking your body into falling asleep by pretending you're sleeping already before you actually fall asleep.
That is that's a high thought.
Do you know what I mean? Yo, yeah, you're like, you're fucking dude, fake joint, pass it.
You're
yeah.
not asleep, but you're tricking yourself.
You just are like, okay, time to sleep. All right. You know, also, here's another thing. Are you an easy sleeper or no?
Yeah, do you fall asleep right away? No, obviously not if you have to fucking watch Alien Pyramid.
Yeah. Well, like, I guess I'm a deep sleeper. I sleep through fucking anything,
Nice.
which is cool. But if I'm doing a one night stand, I have a very hard time falling asleep because I'm just like, oh, what the fuck.
Right.
So I try to fall asleep as fast as I can after we're done, and then I'm like, not even trying to be rude. I'm like, this is my only shot. These next like 5 minutes at going to bed tonight, so I might as well do it.
She gets off you. You're just like, okay.
God, go.
Trying to go to sleep.
Well, I've had it in my experience with men. I don't know if you've had this experience, but women, it takes us so long to power down. It's like powering down a NASA computer where it's like, you're like, all right, guys, let's go to sleep. And then it takes me
for a while.
Oh, it takes me like an hour to fall asleep, probably. It takes me so long. And it's like, I just have these thoughts of like, I'm like, oh, that weird thing I said in like 8th grade. Why the fuck did I do that?
Yeah.
And then men, I have dated so many guys who are like, all right, good night. Dead asleep. Yeah. And I'm like, what? That just to me proves that men and women are just more sophisticated creatures.
Yeah, we're sophisticated. We think about embarrassing shit.
I dated this guy who, when he said good night, before his head hit the pit, like from the position from here to here, he was already asleep.
Had passed out mid head in the air.
Yes, and immediately was in deep sleep. What? And I've known a lot of guys like that. What's wrong with your brains?
Well, I don't know.
That's a privilege, actually.
If I don't have a YouTube video to listen to, I'll create a scenario in my head and then play that out until I go to bed.
Okay,
like a story?
Yeah, like there's I'm on a boat and there's a shark circling it. Like, what do I do? And then I like kind of map it out in my head, and then I'm asleep by the time anything happens.
I think you're a genius.
Yeah, that's actually really, because it's like, that's instead adorable. I'll do shit like that where I'm like, I'm thinking about hypothetical situations, and then I'll get really invested in these hypotheticals that then I keep thinking about it. I'm like, well, what if Saddam Hussein came back to life via a seance? How would America counter terror that? If Dick Cheney wasn't in office during 9/11, what would it be the procedure? And then I'm just all of a sudden I am in the deepest web ever. Yeah, I'm so awake thinking about the most insane conspiracy theories.
It's good.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's good. You know what I do also? When I have those intrusive thoughts, like what I did in 8th grade and shit, I just picture myself, and I just do this. I don't have to. It just comes up because I'm like, oh fuck, like it physically hurts, and then I just imagine myself shooting a machine gun, and somehow it makes it feel. I feel better.
That's actually
not real. Are you serious?
I actually feel like you're giving really good sleeping advice, because I'm like, this all sounds
machine
good.
Gun?
Yeah. You're like, oh,
white
what?
men. If there's any white men listening,
I'm not in the cafeteria. I'm just in like
think about something stupid I did in elementary school.
I think of myself
going
as,
back to that
as
elementary
Dylan
school.
Klebold, the executor of the what was it? Columbine. There we go. I'm still awake.
Yeah,
It only took us how many minutes in are we before we started talking about school shootings? That's pretty good.
I mean, it's in the zeitgeist, man.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the topic of the day. It's the hot goss. Every day there's something happening. People are getting gunned down. What are you guys thinking about it? Anyway, send us your submissions. If you've been gunned down or what. Okay, just kidding. You got to cut all that. Never mind.
There is a gun down.
There is a gun down?
On there.
Oh, yeah. We've.
I think it's the first one.
What a transition.
I know.
Okay.
It's as if we prepared.
Oh wow, there's a lot. What careers do women find most attractive, presumably in men, or if you're lesbian or whatever?
Well,
Ellen?
I guess, I mean, the obvious answer is the lucrative ones. But those people, I feel like the people in lucrative, like a finance guy, for me personally, is not at all like attractive to me. Because they've got nothing going on. They've got nothing to. We can't do bits.
No, lights
Can't
on,
riff.
no one's home.
Yeah.
That's the Patrick Bateman me. You're going to Chris Watts me. You're going to be like, it was a hard day. I just lost $10 million. Guess I'm just going to strangle my girlfriend to death so I can come. That's what I feel like the vibe is.
This feels personal. This feels like a direct memory. This feels like one of those scenarios that you play out before bed.
Yeah. I mean, everybody, look, I think that men too, like, you know, you want somebody, you want like it's attractive when a woman is successful in some way in terms of making money, you know? Like, I guess you would say like, yeah, a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, something stable. But I feel like personally, if anybody, a man or a woman is doing something that they're passionate about, that to me is the most attractive quality, because then you're living through other means. Whenever you allocate your partner to having like you are the only one that I seek joy from because I hate my job and I hate my family. It's just you. You're bearing like a lot of weight and a lot of responsibility. So I'd say like, to me, like people that are filled with passion about their job, regardless of what it is, it's so attractive. Like, honestly, weird example, but like you ever go to like a bar or restaurant and like your server is like just great at their job. And you're like, wow, you like really respect, like, or like, you know, they're a great bartender. Like you really respect the craft of making cocktails. And this is like really brings you a lot of joy. I think that to me is like great. I don't care really what you do. I think that if you have integrity in your job and are passionate about it and are doing something very intently, then I just respect that. As opposed to like, yeah, I hate my job. It fucking sucks. I do this. And then you're like, this is a bad vibe. Then do something else. Yeah. Because if you hate your job, you're liable to complain a lot to your partner about it. And then that's fucking annoying.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
Dude, I've on a first date and someone starts bitching about their job, I'm like, yo, do you want to go out and have fun, or did you just need someone to vent about?
That's rude when people do that. I think that's
immediately. I'm like, there's no way you think I give a fuck.
No, especially a first date. And then it's like, well, the thing is like in HR, because we just got a new HR lady.
Oh,
and she is like, well, she's had it out for me because she actually came from this other place that I used to work at. And I was actually her supervisor. So anyway, like, but blah, blah. And you're like, I am going, like, I'm going to pretend to faint. So just so I can leave. I'll be like, oh, sorry, I gotta go. I'm having a medical emergency.
Wherever people are in their fucking minds that they think, that you care about something that I'm never gonna meet, like Rachel in HR. I'm never gonna meet her. And if I do, I'll fucking walk into traffic and die so that I don't have to meet her to prove to you that I'll never meet her. But like, why do people tell you stories about shit that have nothing to do?
They're venting. I think a lot of people really need benefit from having some therapy, and they don't have anybody else to talk to about the stupid minutia of their life. And honestly, like a therapist is like a prostitute for your brain, and everyone should get one, because if not, you're going to make your loved ones endure this stupid shit that you barely even care about. Like I catch myself complaining and I immediately, it's like one of these things where I'm like, well, in this and I'm like, sorry, I'm going to stop. I think I have a theory about complaining. You can only complain if it's funny.
Yeah.
That's you can complain if you make it funny. If you're like, oh, dude, let me tell you this this bitch that I work with and like, you know, these people like that. And then you make it like a fun story, or you're like, you're razzing them or whatever. I feel like you can complain if you make it entertaining. And if not, then you're just talking shit. Then there's like, I feel like there's two modes of expression that I always try to be like, okay, if I'm doing this or doing this, I'm doing something right. If not, then what are you doing? Being as funny as possible, joking around, bits, like laughing with people, you know, that, or being really truthful and honest and genuine and sincere. If I'm not doing either of those things in either of those camps, like literally, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're being shitty in some way. And look, we're fucking fallible. We gotta complain. It's cathartic. But like, just like within reason. My own mother, who I love to death, will complain to me about some job shit. She's my own fucking mom. And I'm like, fucking shut up. So when you're on a date with a random person and they're doing that and you're like, you didn't give birth to me. I don't even like
your mom's the reason that you're here telling her to shut
up. She can do whatever because I'm like, well, she just needs to vent. Like she just doesn't have too many people to talk to. Like I'm here. But like a random, don't fuck anybody on a date. You got to put your best foot forward. Going on a date and like fucking.
They literally can't though. Like
they don't have a good
seeing that's not their best foot. That is their best foot. That's like the bad like these people. It's like, to go back to the prompt, it's like people in finance or in whatever. I'm just saying finance, but like any job where it's like you're fucking just going through the motions.
Like hey, Ellen, you'll find this interesting. So anyway, so you know Ted, who I've talked about from accounting.
You're gonna love this.
So that's
how I know. That's when I tune out.
You're gonna love this. So anyway, so he sends an Excel sheet, even though it's supposed to be a Google sheet.
Oh my God.
He used the wrong formatting, and I'm telling my boss, hey, he's still doing the same thing over and over again. Tell you what, he actually got written up. What do you think about that? And you're like, I am going to jump off a building. So you're traumatized by what you just said, so you never do it to somebody else.
He would still
again.
blame it on me. It still wouldn't be his story's fault. It would just be that chick I went out with was really unstable.
Yeah.
She was sick in the head, man, you know? I was telling her a fun, interesting, compelling tale about the fucking banality of my fucking mediocre life, dude. And then she had the audacity to kill herself in front of me out of spite.
Dude, I love whenever there's like someone's telling me a story on a date or something and they're wrapping it up and I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't listen. And then I hear like the last thing and I'm like, wait, so and then what sparked that with Brian again? And she's like, okay, and then she'll go back like 25%. I'm like, okay, I can catch this. And then from something that far back, I'll be like, and then and I just have to retrace steps on the story that she just told for 10 minutes. With like, and she's like, wow,
she's fine.
I like that you're an interrogation detective tactics where you're like, and where was Ryan at the time?
Right.
Interesting.
And it makes you seem super fucking into
it. Actually is great because then if anything, you
buy time.
You're also asking questions like, wow, he's really engaged.
As if you're listening, but it's literally you just took the last
so many people
30
are
seconds.
Bad at maybe because we're all comedians. Like I feel like we've talked about this before on this podcast of just like how there's just most people are so bad at relaying information, telling stories. Like they'll be like, I have a story for you. And then they do it and you're like, I'm now angry. Like now I'm really mad that you spoke.
I always talk about this. Rusty, who works here, his storytelling, it's good, but it's so funny the way he does it because he'll set up characters that are at the in the story, and then he's like, yeah, and then so he'll give you 5 minutes on this guy Brian, and he's like, and then Brian takes off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so he had nothing to do with this? And he's like, no. I'm like, you could just skip Brian and just get right to the thing.
He's like, what's the fun in that?
I remember when he was telling us
the best.
A story at South by Southwest of he's like, I'm really gonna go into my bag right now. He literally said that and I'm like, oh shit, is he gonna like excavate some like crazy stories never told anybody? He's like, and it ended up just being a story about how him and some of his friends like hazed a football player. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, we like made fun of him. And I'm like, I gotta go home, dude. And
like, I was like, I gotta go now. So thanks for that, though. Yeah, I mean, Liam, is there any question? Like, is there any profession that a woman would have that would like make, I don't know, be attractive somewhat?
No, it's like the same thing. I guess if you are really into it and you don't complain about it and you're actually passionate about it, and I can tell. So like when you talk about work, you're actually not just
Happy.
going, happy. Being happy is attractive.
I'd love someone who's just happy.
Yeah,
and
just-
isn't relying on me to do that because I'm depressed.
I'm already
So,
too sad
yeah.
for you to be fucking that up
Yeah.
any worse.
It's also like not anybody's responsibility. Like your own happiness, like you are the arbiter of your own happiness. And when you like put it on somebody else or any external means,
Right.
you're just like, that's just such a surefire way for like unhappiness and disappointment and like tension. Like you really, it always comes like from,
It always comes from within. Anyway, sometimes I get really way too sentimental on this podcast, and it's really, I'm like, this is supposed to be funny, right? And I'm like, listen, I'm gonna really dig in my bag right now.
No, it's good. All right, let's do another question.
Let's do it.
Best place for a first date.
that's a really cute question.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have a thought. Okay, so I went on a first date that was kind of an ideal best place for a first date, but the guy was so fucking annoying that it became in my mind my worst date.
Okay.
And it was so, how can you be so like bad at telling a story, or you just talk too much about something that I don't care about? That this was the date. He was a sailor. He had like a sailboat that he would sail. Like amazing date. We're on the
Sounds hot.
marina. It's hot.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm in a bikini. He's in a bathing suit. It's abs. He's like fucking sailing. It was awesome, and he's showing me a thing that he can do, like command a boat.
Yeah.
You know, on the sea. I'm like, all right, I'm getting
Pussy's wet. Yeah.
pussy's wet. I'm getting splashed from all angles.
Yeah.
And I'm getting splashed, but I'm giving it right back.
We got a nautical theme
Yeah,
going
we got
in
nautical.
every capacity.
right. You know, and he just, he interrupts me every time I try to talk. He interrupts, which gross. Only if anyone's gonna be interrupting, it's gonna be me. Okay, so
It's gonna be me. Yeah.
Don't be rude. Just kind of he's a Trumper. Starts like defending Trump, and this was like when he was in office.
How old is he?
He was a little older than me. So I'm 26. He was probably 30. So he was like a few years. He was. Well, how old was I? This was like a couple years ago. He was probably like 5 years older than me. I'll say. Let's just say 5 years older. Which like you should. That's
Young
a good-
Trumper in
Yeah.
in Southern
No,
California.
it wasn't in California. This was back in New Jersey. But still,
Okay.
New Jersey's not.
If you own
It's
it,
still
if you own a sailboat, though, you're a Republican.
something. Yeah, it wasn't that. It was.
I was thinking that was like a
his
liable
family. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it was just you can run into people who just have Fox in their house, and it's like, okay, I can't like reverse this.
What was that, Liam?
Nothing. Just stay strong, brothers.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! No!
Yeah, I let the machine gun thing slide, and now you're fucking. Now I think Fox News is worse. Watching Fox News is worse. You can shoot up a school as long as you watch the Young Turks,
And
on
that
YouTube.
stays in the podcast.
that stays in. Yeah. Anyway, this guy was so fucking annoying that he sailed me around on a body of water, and I was still like, I need to jump off. Like I want to jump off in front of it so that he doesn't realize that I've jumped before he keeps going, and it hits me in the head, and I knock out, and I fucking drown.
Yeah, just like jump into the rudders of the
Jump into
boat.
the rudders and get like the fin like decapitates me.
Yeah,
Something cute like that.
eaten by sharks. That's the thing about first date. Never go to a place where you cannot leave. That's the boat. That's like you just
God,
you can't
I never
leave.
thought of that.
And not being able to leave a first date is like
something could have happened to me.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
we were
a-
out at sea.
you just met
That
this
was
guy. How'd you
crazy
meet
of
this
me.
guy online?
Through a. Okay, no. I met him in person. I was working at my uncle's sub shop. Shout out to Sacco Subs in Ocean City. Grab a cheesesteak whenever you get famished, my friends. But yeah, he was like a regular at the shop. So he came in and
So there's a paper trail. That's
Yeah.
good.
Paper
Yeah.
trail.
Because I would be like, if a stranger's like, let's go on a boat, I'm like, I'm good.
yeah, no, definitely not from the app.
I don't want to die like Natalie would. I'm
Yeah.
good. Yeah. I think, yeah, an ideal first date, I would say, I like when guys are really creative, you know? And I will say it's funny because one of my favorite first date, like one of the setup was so good and then the execution was so bad. Probably it is the worst date I've ever been on.
They can't finish the circle. Like they have a good idea and then they're shit.
This was also like, okay, so I go on a date with this guy and he's like, let's go to the gun range and then we'll go to
Ooh.
dinner. And I'm like, that sounds fun. Like, that sounds great. That's a great first date. Like, go, you know. And I go to his place. That's like where we meet up first. And he's so awkward. And he's just like, you look nice. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And then
Sorry.
he's like,
Pause. Not to interrupt you. I'm crazy for going on a boat with a guy, but you went to shoot.
I knew
guns
this
with a
guy. I knew this
Oh, you
guy.
knew the guy.
Yeah, I knew the guy. Like he was friends of friends.
Equally
Like,
dangerous.
but he was like in the, like we had a lot of mutual friends, but like it also we're going to like a gun range. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with like a lot we it's not like, let's go to the desert and shoot guns.
Let's go in deep into the woods.
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
a shovel in
Yeah.
case we want to.
I got some nylon rope and yeah. So I was like, that sounds super fun. So I get to his place, he's really awkward, and he's just like, you look nice. And I'm like, why are you weirdly yelling? Okay. And
shoots guns.
yeah, well then he's like, well, that's the weird thing is like he was like a super like hip dude with like
Okay.
he was like a musician.
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
like really cool.
Okay.
And he goes, do you want to see my guns? Like I'm like, oh, you own some. And then he proceeds to pull out a case from under his bed and opens it up and it's a giant case and he has a rifle.
So this is before you went to the range or after?
This is before.
Before the range.
You were. How are you surprised by this?
Because it was like I think like when you pitch like, oh, let's go on a date, like take you out to dinner, you want to go to a gun range? That'll be fun. Yeah, cool. You don't expect that person to necessarily be like a gun nut. You just are like, this is a quirky date. I mean, I don't know. I've gone on like
Axe throwing is quirky.
Yeah.
Actually shooting guns at a
You should
fucking gun
have.
range?
You should have expected him to own guns.
he owned a lot of guns and he lived on the top of an apartment building and like above a park.
Snipe just
Good
snipe.
vantage
He
point.
literally had a rifle, like a sniper rifle, and then he had a few handguns anyway. I'm like, okay. And then we go to the gun range. Everything's fine. Tensions kind of ease. We're having fun. We're making
This is giving me
jokes.
anxiety.
We're laughing a lot.
You're here next to me alive right now, and I'm still scared you're gonna die at the
Dude,
end.
well, this story it's just a fucking wait for the left turn that you guys are not gonna see. So having a great time, go to dinner, we're laughing, we're having a great time. We have a conversation about, sometimes first date banter is like, hey, what were your relationships like, prior to, And he's like, I was a late bloomer. I didn't lose my virginity until I was like 22. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, that's fine.
There's
little
still hope. There's
Yeah.
still hope.
a little bit of
Nice.
like a, all right. But that's fine, to each their own. And then we're still joking around. And then he makes a comment that he didn't lose his virginity until he was 22. And then he goes, yeah, I was molested as a child.
Ooh.
And then so much worse. What happens then is that me thinking he's joking, because again, we were dun, 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 I go, I laugh in his face when he tells me he was a victim of sexual assault as a child. I laugh. And then he goes,
Yeah, it's hilarious.
I'm
It's a good bit.
Yeah, yeah.
and then he goes, I'm serious. And I go, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I have to go to the bathroom. And then I go to the bathroom and I'm like,
Left.
no, I didn't leave. I couldn't do that. And then I was like, oh, fuck. And then we bounce and I was the one driving and I was just like driving back and I'm just white knuckling the steering wheel. Like, okay, have a good night. Bye,
Yeah.
exit. And I'm just like looking forward because I'm like, I can't give him an in. If I give him an in, like it's going to be all over for me. And then he goes, I had a really good time. And then he leans over and he puts his tongue in my ear and just licks it like a lot. And then he goes,
that's
I'll
hot.
talk to you soon. I'm like, all right, cool. So
What a thing to say after licking someone's ear and just, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
We'll be in
All right,
touch.
see you soon.
Imagine telling somebody on a first date that
I'm
you
gonna
were
circle back.
molested as a child and having them like
Yeah.
take that. What, like, I was like, what is this? It was it was like one of the craziest things. But I feel like, okay, back to the first date though. That's a fun activity. Do a fun activity.
Yeah.
I can't get on board with the guns thing. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't do it. I will not go to with a guy who I don't know with weapons.
This was
The weapons are not going to be the central
focal point
of the date. It's not
Yeah.
going to happen.
Well, I will say
Even
this.
axe throwing, even though people think it's fun, axe throwing to me, it's got to be a third date. If we're going to involve weapons, it's got to be I have to know you. It's got to. We probably should have sex and then bring weapons.
Yeah, I had okay, just to clarify, this also was 10 years ago, over 10 years ago.
Okay.
So like the guns were not as like
Guns were cool.
Yeah,
Guns
it was
weren't
like
killing as
before.
many kids.
Guns are still pretty cool.
This was pre Sandy Hook. I'm just letting you guys know. So I feel like that was like, you
It
know,
was pre-Sandy hookup.
you know, yeah, that was. So I just feel like it was not that bad. But I feel like, I don't know, a first date should be something that you design where it should be casual, always in fucking public. Don't be a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
And
Don't go into the middle of a
Don't-
lake, Ellen.
yeah, don't do that.
That was more dangerous than that.
I
date.
agree. I agree.
Yeah,
with you.
way more. I was in public the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane for you to
Really
be
bad.
shocked though when he was like, "Would you like to see my guns?" For you to be like, "What?"
He was like such a hipster guy that I feel like, you know, fucking, I don't know, hipster guys are like, hey, let's do something quirky. And then I was like, oh, he is actually really into this. Like this was
Yeah.
like, I was confused because nothing else prior to that had led to me led to the conclusion that he was a gun nut.
Because sometimes guys are so one track minded, they don't realize they're like, I like shooting guns and I like this girl. So I'm going to do both of these things together. Like they don't have like, oh, let me think of a date that she would like. And then we'll both go out of our comfort zone and do this one, like this other thing. Sometimes guys are like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They can't separate.
Yeah, you
their
guys are simple
interests.
creatures who fall asleep instantly and can't conceptualize.
Not Liam.
Shit is
he's got alien
sweet over here,
videos.
dude.
Yeah.
It's great.
No, honestly, yeah, it's a better camp, I would say.
Yeah.
I feel like any first date that's like creative, but also like low key. That's the thing. It's like, especially if a man is like the one that's like creating the first date, you don't need to like overburden yourself. It's almost like, I think if both people come like equivocally to like get to know one another too, then and it depends. Like every situation's different. If you know this girl and you're really courting her and it's somebody that like you've been fawning over, then like I'm sure you're gonna put a little bit more care into this, like into designing a really fun scenario for you guys. But if somebody you meet on like Hinge or whatever, it's like, dude, honestly, meeting up for drinks I think is totally fine. I totally understand guys not wanting to buy a girl dinner on the first date, especially with online dating, because it's like, you know,
Who are you?
it's like fucking how much money you
I don't
spending
go
on
out.
a stranger. You know what I mean? Like,
I only do drinks.
that's smart. I think that's the
Yeah.
I also I'm riddled with social anxiety, so I show up early. Just get a couple in.
That's sweet.
really
yeah.
well. That's actually so. Yeah, showing up early for a date too, I think, is like a really great thing for a guy to do because it just makes you seem like the date starts like now. Like I'm excited to see you.
Yeah.
I mean, you're doing it to like fucking down some drinks
That's a
before.
little different. Yeah,
That's different.
That's an alcoholism.
But
issue.
I remember-
that's gonna come up later.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
relationship
Oh,
if
it
works
has.
out.
But I remember like a guy took me, you know, it was a really fun date I went on. A guy picked me up and took me to an arcade and then we like went out to
Sick.
dinner after that. It was really nice. But he was like, okay, I'll come pick you up at 8 p.m. Literally at like 7:59 p.m. I get a knock on the door. And he like comes to my door. He isn't like, I'm outside, like come outside.
He's like beep beep.
Yeah. Comes to my door, like literally right on time. And I was like, my pussy is wet. Like that's so hot because it's like, I want to see you as soon as we have agreed to. I'm not going to delay me spending time with you.
Yeah.
That's a real, like, if you want to like impress the girl, show up early, show up on time. Don't be fucking late and do something casual and fun. I do think drinks is like the way to go because
But if the person's boring, you could be doing anything though, and it's about the other it's about the connection that you have with the person. Like drinks are going to be fun with someone that you can riff with and that you can whatever, but drinks are going to be boring.
Dude, have you ever like faked an
orgasm? And a laugh. Both multiple
Oh God.
times.
Yeah, we're women. We have to. Have you ever
we have to do
faked an
this.
ailment to get out of a date?
COVID has made that so easy.
Oh no, I've live on the date.
Oh shit.
Oh.
No.
Oh yeah,
You have a story?
I went on an online date with this guy, and like that's the thing about online dating is that like initially like you were chatting, and I'm like, this guy's hilarious. He's so funny, he's so smart. We meet up, and I'm like, oh, he's like not all there. Like he's really just like so
I love that moment where you're like,
awkward. Yeah, I'm like, oh, he's really good at like writing jokes in the format of like texts, but then none of them come out of his mouth. Like he's just like the most awkward, stiff person.
he's like POV. You're like reading tweets out loud. You're like, what?
So we have like some drinks, and I'm like, this is unbearable. Like he talked about himself the whole time, and he's just kind of boring and condescending at the same time. And I'm like, this is just a daft combination.
This is how some of them
A lot go like this, and then
go like
I just go like, oh, sorry, I think I'm having an allergic reaction. And then I kind of twitched my eye, and I was like, I think I might be allergic to something. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to go home. I have Zyrtec in my bag. Let me just take some Zyrtec. And I took some Zyrtec, and then
you
I was
had Zyrtec in your bag.
yeah.
Fill the
Well, I keep it on. I can't keep that motherfucking thing on me. Okay.
I stay strapped.
Yeah, dude. But I pretended I was having like an allergic reaction, and so I could leave because I was like, I can't even stay because it was like 15 minutes in, and you can't be like, I gotta go. So but I had to go. I was like, I can't. I was like, every second I stay here, I am like being like,
brain cells.
yeah, I'm like, oh, maybe I should just be alone for it. I don't think I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna be a nun. I'm just gonna join a nunnery.
Yeah.
Do you do the apps?
Yeah.
Do you?
I'm on the apps.
Are you? And you have a boyfriend?
Yeah.
Okay.
I only use Hinge. I
Only
use,
Hinge.
Yeah.
How many times a month? I guess are you going on a date with someone from Hinge?
1 to 2.
1 to 2.
If I
Yeah.
like only if I'm like want to.
Right.
You know
right,
what I mean?
Well, no, of course.
I don't-
I wouldn't want you to.
People are like, yeah, I go on dates all the time. I'm like, is that fun? I'll do it if
No.
because you match with a ton of people, but I'll be like, like I'd have to like there has to be some reason I feel like we should go like, oh, like she seems like I would get along with her because I've done so many. When I first moved out here, I did a lot, and I was like,
It was a good way to meet people, even just.
yeah. And then I was like, oh, this is just a waste of my time because then it was like 3 dates and then the inevitable, we're not gonna do this anymore. I was like, I'm just setting. It's like getting a dog that's gonna die in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's fucking. Yeah, I was like, this is,
Terminally ill puppy.
yeah. I was like, I hate it was so stressful. Every other week would be like, oh, I have to be like, hey, I don't want to do this again. It just became so
my
stressful.
God.
I stopped doing it.
Like a review at the end of your job.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Well, some people date with different intentions. Like I think you date with the right intention, which is like, I'm just trying this thing, and if somebody, piques my interest, then I'll reach out and I'll actually meet up with them. Some people are like inundating themselves with dates in order to be loved and have like attention, And I think that's a lot of reason why I think a lot of people are on apps and some, and I think it's a good representation of like you as being single. I remember like when I became single after a long relationship, like you kind of create this like edifice, of like,
Right.
I am single. This is a representation that I am available, not only to like other people, but to myself,
Yeah.
And like it can almost act as this like, it's like it can act as like a really good like catalyst for you even just like being out in the world because you're like also talking to some people online and you're like, oh, like I am attractive, like people are interested in me, and I feel like you kind of carry that with you, and then when you go out to like a bar or a party, you're like, yeah, I'm like, I'm like a hot person people want to
Yeah, I'm a
talk to.
catch.
Yeah, so I think online dating can be like nice, even if you don't utilize the actual like app, you can like really take that like into the world with you, and I feel like that's a really nice situation.
It has made in person at a bar talking to a girl like way more intense in a way, in a good way, in a good
But
way.
it probably easier in a way because it's not as high stakes. Because you're like, oh, there's other girls out there that are interested in me. Like I have, you know what I mean? Like I feel like that's a little bit more. It's not just like there's one girl here, she likes me, I like her. I haven't really talked to another girl in like a few months. Like this has gotta fucking work, man. If it doesn't work, man, like I'm fucking, you're like, oh no, like women, they're down.
It feels almost old fashioned when I'm like, holy shit, I'm just hitting it off with a human being in person. Look at us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look at
what
us
is it,
talk.
1958?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, wow, they just
You're at a house party talking to a stranger. I'm like, look, this is insane
Yeah.
for us to be doing this right now.
It does feel like divine intervention when that happens. When you like talk to somebody, you meet somebody in the wild.
And you're like, okay, they're the one.
Yeah. You're like,
Yeah.
clearly
This
God
is
put
what they
us
write
here
about in books and
together.
poems.
Yeah.
Like, this is it.
God made us meet because he needs us to get married and procreate.
Like you're both just blacked out at a bar. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not a romantic thing at
I'm
all.
like,
but you're just like, okay, it's not Hinge. So this is like the grandfather of my grandfather.
Have you guys like ever sat next to like what was clearly an online date just out in public?
Oh, you mean like it's happening near you?
Yeah,
You
like
hear
the
it?
formality, because you can then just observe people as they behave.
I start touching myself when I start hearing it. I love overhearing an online date.
It is to me. No, to
I'm
me,
sick in the head.
I feel. I'm like. I feel bad for
But
both
it's
of them.
so
weirdly,
bad that it's good. It's like it's like a car accident.
it's like watching Maury. Yeah, you're like fuck,
Yeah.
this is crazy. It's
I wa-
cringe.
I
I will have paid my check, be ready to leave, and then hear a conversation. So you said you work at the blah blah, and I fucking sit back down and I order another meal and I fucking sit there and listen to the rest of it. It's
what I want to do is just wait for them to be like finishing up their meals, and I just go over and go, hey guys, I've been listening this entire time, and I just want you to know that I'm gonna drive home and kill myself. The first thing I'm gonna do when I walk in my apartment is find the roughest rope, the coarsest piece of.
Because I want it to hurt so I
wire.
can feel something.
Yes, and
little
I'm gonna hang myself, and I don't want that to affect your guys' relationship. I just wanted to
which it won't, because this is clearly the last date that you guys. Hopefully, it's the last
Anyway,
date.
ciao.
Yeah.
later. Peace
You
out.
could also. I feel like maybe one day I'll muster up the courage to maybe go over and be like, hey, you guys probably already know this, but you're not right for each other, and that's okay. I just wanted to.
You guys should know this. You guys both deserve to die alone.
Yeah.
Just
horrendous.
hearing how what you guys think is interesting conversation truly makes me sick to my stomach and makes me want to jump off a bridge. So anyway, have a good one.
Yeah.
Neither of you have souls, and no one's gonna remember you when you die.
Please don't burden this earth with your presence because you are just making CO2 gas and it's killing.
Yeah, maybe they belong together then. If it's
Yeah.
both of them.
I just have had, I sat next to an online date recently and I was just like, wow, I do not envy this. Like, they're like, hey, how'd you hear about this place?
My friend Jessica said it was like a fun place for a cocktail.
Cool.
So how long have you lived in New York? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's fun. Oh, have you seen the show?
And I'm
then he
like,
totally fucking hasn't. It's like some show that why the fuck would he have seen that? And he says no, and then she's like, well, basically, and it's like,
and then she gives you the synopsis of like,
Well, Love Island is actually where all of these people they come together,
and you're like,
I love listen. I just love listening.
Yeah.
I love hate it. Obviously, I want to get up and leave, but my legs won't let me leave.
anytime that happens, I'm just like, hello, darkness, my old friend. I'm like, I'm gonna, it makes me sad a little bit, but I don't know, man. I feel like such a dick fucking talking about like, hey, anybody out there who's trying to make a connection with another human being, you're fucking stupid and lame, dude. Why don't you just be cooler and have better personalities so when you talk, it's actually interesting to listen to, you fucking loser. It's like, I don't know,
Putting
man.
yourself
People
out
are-
there.
Yeah.
Well, when you become, you probably, I mean, you both know this. You're both single, right? You're single. The thing is,
She's like, you're single. Like I can already tell.
currently are.
but once you shit on a stick, what the fuck was I talking about? Once, you realize this. Every person is either boring or annoying.
Yes.
And there's just a spectrum. So I'd say if boring is on one and annoying is on the other end of the spectrum, everyone is just kind of, it's like a Kinsey scale. Everyone's like a degree of that.
Now I'm more annoying, but some people, like a lot of people are boring, but some people are so boring
That they're annoying.
that they're annoying.
Yep.
So it's better to be a little more annoying because sometimes you're a little funner.
You're gonna be annoying anyway if you're boring.
Yeah.
So you might as well be annoying. in the
So
fun
many
way.
people are so fucking boring,
Dude,
man.
have you ever been on a double date and one person is fucking up the flow of the conversation to the point where you're like looking over? And sometimes it's my friend. I'm like, why? Stop asking dumb fucking questions. Like we're in this cool story time, bouncing stories. And he's like, so what was your major in college? I'm like, would you shut
my
the fuck
God.
up and stop talking? Like you're blowing this for everyone.
That makes me so angry. Or like when people, you can tell that they're not listening exactly because then they ask the wrong questions. Like you're telling like whatever, somebody's telling a great story and then they're like, wait, so was it, you said it was on Labor Day that this happened? And you're like, who the fuck cares?
That's Liam
Yeah.
not listening.
Yeah. I'm like, and wait,
Brian was
dude.
And is it Brian with an I or a Y?
Yeah.
With an I? Oh, cool.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. No, I know some Brians with eyes and Y. Do you ever think Brians with eyes and Y's are different, huh?
Yeah.
You know, nurture or nature. What do you think?
Dude.
What came first, chicken or the egg? Nobody's getting laid. Nobody's getting laid.
I don't know. I feel like, what is your ideal date, like first date, Ellen, and then Liam? What's your ideal
My
first
ideal
date?
first date.
Yeah.
It's really about like I said, like it's about the person. Like we could be doing anything. It's just like it, you know. I guess I don't want to go for drinks because I feel like if you suggest grabbing a drink, you're boring. Like that's like you know, if it's an online date and it's like a low stakes thing, so it's like I'm gonna like I'll suggest a drink, but it's like if you know me at all, I'm the kind of person who I kind of like show you who I am right away, and I'm like a fucking nutcase. So if you have met me for 5 minutes and then you suggest going to get a drink, it's like, okay, clearly you don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't want to sit there because there's too much opportunity for it to be boring. We're sitting on bar stools, we're kind of turning towards each other like this, and we just go, okay, like that's.
It's hard to get to
It's the
know one another when you're just doing
And
something
it's
like
such
that.
a weird arbitrary activity. Like, let's get a drink. Okay.
Do you have
Just because that's what people do.
Do you have a
Why?
problem with like when I was single, I had a problem with like the semantics of certain ways that guys would ask me out. We'd be like, "Yeah, let's hang out sometime." I'm like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck does
Or
that mean? What do you mean you want?"
Next time I'm in your neck of the woods, we'll blah, blah, blah.
It's
Like,
so vague.
no,
and
why
it's,
don't you fucking come on? No, I don't want to be like a pit stop on your doctor appointment.
I just feel like whenever it's really important, I think for like guys, if you like a girl, like just be really clear about like not even like just your intentions, like
To whom it may concern, miss, I would like to treat you to a time of your life.
and just like not that. It's just like the whole like I fucking hate when a guy's just like, "Oh, well, we should hang out sometime." I'm like, "What are we, bros?" Like, yeah, dude, come over and want fucking smoke out of my bubbler, dude. We
That
gotta
sounds-
fucking chill sometime. And
That's
I'm
pretty
like,
sick.
I'm just like, okay, dude, sounds. No, it's like if you're a man and you want to ask a woman out, just be like, yeah, you know, I'd love to take you out sometime. Just
Right.
say it's still
Right.
as casual. It's not like, but it's being like,
And-
I intend to romantically pursue you, not just like, hey, like, I don't know, dude. Like maybe we could just like shoot the shits, play Mario
Right.
Kart, and see kind of what happens.
And
Like,
as a
nah.
woman, I love to know like it's on. You know? So
Yes.
if you say I'd love to take you out, it's like there's no question, like it's on.
it's a
Like,
date.
We're probably gonna smooch after. you know?
Yes.
And
Kiss
like
on the lips.
it's good. Yeah, a nice kiss on the lips or tongue in the ear
Yeah.
if I'm lucky.
Yeah, we love a good tongue in the
I'll
ear.
see you
Might
soon.
do.
Oh my god. Yeah, I love this. This podcast is mostly just me sharing trauma that I've
Yeah.
had, and then everyone's like, "That's crazy." I'm like, "Dude, the shit." I'm like a Vietnam War vet. I'm like,
The fucking shit I've seen, man. I've been in the shit, man.
Just bursting a girl's eardrum with your own tongue and then being like, catch you on the flip.
yeah, feeling the most confident after you just completely wet willied her, but no fucking finger involved, just like straight to the
What if
barrel.
he puts like a wet willy and then like a noogie also. on
Yo,
your
I gotta
head, just
bounce,
a
but
nice-
You're really special.
What if he licks my ear like he licks my ear like he's licking a pussy, brings his thumb in, just like puts
pulls your earlobe back. Liam, take notes.
Yeah.
Pull the earlobe back a little bit.
And you're going to want it like this part of the
part.
ear. You're going to want to put that.
Yeah.
Just,
And use your index finger and middle, depending
yeah,
on the
spread
girth.
open the ear.
Yeah. That's right. Then no woodpecker.
Yeah.
Okay? No woodpecker.
Do
I've
girls
had that
like
before.
anything on the ear?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like kissing on the neck and
Bite my
ear.
Bite my ear.
Yeah.
Erogenous
If you're watching
zone.
this, bite my ear.
Yeah.
Like, please.
You heard it here first.
Nibble. Not,
Yeah.
don't
What's-
hurt. Don't re-pierce my ear. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cute.
little-
So it's passionate. It's like a
Yeah.
little like
if you're on the neck, just stop by. Stop
Yeah.
by to the ear.
Say
and
hello.
Then go back. You know,
Sometimes guys will
circle
get-
back.
they get a
I'll
little too obsessive with the ear. Have you ever had like somebody you're like spend a long time on the ear, buddy?
It's all yeah. It's like
Does my breath
didn't-
smell?
I
What's
didn't,
going
I
on?
didn't Q-tip enough for this. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you were going to be in there for so long.
Liam, what's your ideal first date?
Yeah.
If I know someone prior and I already know I'd like them and I am pursuing them romantically,
Right.
then I will, something fun, like an activity where we're both doing something.
What was the best date you've ever planned? Like, when were you like, I'm proud of myself. This is a fun one, even if it went to shit.
Laser tag?
You're
Laser
gonna say,
tag
you're
would
gonna
be sick. I'd have to think. I
don't
don't
say
even fucking
YouTube
know.
videos at your apartment.
No, I don't think I've ever really like taken a girl on like a fucking. One time I went to like a drive-in movie and it was kind of cool because we were just like smoking and watching some like just talking shit about a movie live.
Oh, nice. I love
Which
that.
is like so we're both doing commentary. It's kind of funny. That was cool.
That's when complaining is okay. By the way,
Yeah.
When it's your shit talking with that's like almost.
Oh, dude.
That's foreplay.
I
when you
fucking-
can talk shit on something with the other person.
Oh, that is like that's my love language. If like we can make fun of something together or a person together, oh my God, that's so fun.
hot.
Yeah.
I get wet.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the funnest thing to just be like, so and so. Oh my God, dude. One time they were wearing those fucking, those shoes with the toes.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? I think guys that wear those toe shoes. I have a theory. I think they got to have big cocks, right? There's nothing makes you that confident. You can like
You can't do that.
you can't just walk around wearing fucking shoes with like individual like toe areas and not have a big swinging hog.
You think men with small penises don't have confidence? Is that what you're trying to say right now? Get the fuck out of here.
Why
Yes,
are
men
you
with small
speaking
dicks
so
have confidence.
passionately about this,
That's
Liam?
junk talk. Dude.
Wow,
That's-
dude.
Show some class.
The lady doth protest too much.
My thing is though, I don't put any. I'm not gonna put in effort if I don't know I like you. Like that's why I do the drinks thing because it's like there's no. I'm not, and I only do it. I've only done it on the street,
Yeah.
so it's like I can just go right there. I'm not driving fucking 30 minutes to West Hollywood to find out if I like a girl. Nope.
Right.
No.
Right.
I think
Well,
that's
why
super
drinks-
fair.
Yeah. Drinks are a good way. If you do not have fun on drinks, then it's not gonna work. Because I do get what you're saying. Like, okay, if you planned a date, like an arcade date with a girl, and it was fun, it could just be fun because you like air hockey,
Yeah.
not because you like her.
It also
you know?
feels meaner to end things after we just went on like a walk on the beach, and then I'm like, hey, I don't want to see you again. But if
No,
we have,
you're
like,
right.
we have,
Yeah.
like 2 beers, I'm like, fucking part ways.
It's high stakes. What about how do you guys feel about like because I feel like younger people do this, but like meeting someone casually and be like, hey, like come out. Me and my friends are like going to this party. Come meet me there.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I do that.
love
I
that.
like that because
I
it's a bit casual. Yeah.
It's casual. I was gonna say a first date, probably ideal first date. If I don't know them that well, is if you're either my friends or your friends, and I'm like adapting to and one of us is adapting because if it's gonna work out, we're gonna have to be around our friends anyway, and it's less pressure. Like maybe I'll talk to this person for a second, and I'll go over and talk to this couple that's that's in the group, and then we'll kind of come back together.
I feel like that's always like a place, maybe because you're a comedian too. It's just like that's where you shine,
Right.
Where
So
you're
if
like,
someone can't do that, I'm like, ah.
but it's also like, oh, I get to be charmed. Like I get to kind of be my best self. Like
Yeah.
you kind of work good in crowds, but in like a more of a passive means, you know what I mean? It's just all like, oh, I can come here and like be funny and like silly, and then like they see that and they're like,
And the friends are gonna be like, we loved that girl. You
Yeah.
no, honestly, I do like that because I think it's just like that's low pressure, and then you're like, hey, like come take us, and it's intimate at the same time because you're like,
Right.
come take a step into my life.
These are my people.
Yeah, these are the people I like. This is what we like to do. Come join us in doing this. I can understand though why some people are not into that because I've ever done this. I had that happen before with the guy invite me out to like kind of group of friends like dinner thing, and it was super fun. And then I was like, went on like I think after the third date with this guy, I was like, oh, his friends are fun. He is so boring. Like he surrounded himself, he insulated himself with like interesting, cool people. But then one-on-one, I was like, this guy's kind of fucking lackluster, you know?
Yeah.
Bamboozled you.
Yeah, I got a little bamboozed, but
One time in college, this girl invited me over and I'm like expecting it to just be like quick hookup, and all of her roommates were playing a fucking board game.
Yeah.
Like a card
I
game.
love that.
In the living room, and she was like, just walked in and sat down, and I was just standing in the doorway like, oh my God.
They all had
Sit
their
down.
dicks like on the fucking
Yeah.
table. They're like, what?
What are you gonna do?
You thought you were just gonna grab a fucking pawn.
Here you go. Tell
so you had to
Like-
play like Settlers
playing
of
Monopoly.
Catan before you get fuck.
Mm-hmm.
No, they
And-
were not playing fucking.
No,
Catan.
I don't
Girls.
remember.
They were playing.
It was some fucking apples to apples or bullshit game, and I was like,
took
dude,
7 hours before you could.
you know, and you have like that, like your face gets hot, but the sweat is cold, and you're like, like I can't believe I'm here. I'm just picturing. I'm like, I can't wait to go home and just
It's a good
vent
story.
about this to my friends. Like this is crazy. And I was like, yeah, dude.
But I love how a bad experience going over a girl's house for a guy is like, oh, they were all playing a board game and I had
Super
to play
nice.
apples to apples. A girl's bad story about being at a fucking guy's house is rape. Like
Yeah.
it can
Yeah.
end in rape. Like you had to do like a synonym. Like you had to do.
they
Like,
could have raped me. They
could-
chose not. I was outnumbered.
if I lost
couple of
apples
them were
to
big.
apples, a couple of them.
I feel like, yeah,
out.
or like you go to a guy's place and then, oh God. Yeah, there's imminent threat and danger. Or you're just like, hey, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Do you have toilet paper? Oh,
There's
no, dude.
pubes, guys with the pubes.
Just like,
You have to check harder for the there's a lot of
They don't
guys,
care.
clean guys too.
Don't care.
literally
Clean,
don't
clean
care.
men with very clean apartments. There's always a pube.
Or like there's a piss, there's just like a kind of, how do you say, dried piss stain that is on the toilet that like, and you're like, what?
Fucking brush that. You know I'm coming over.
Yeah, no. Oh, they don't do,
They don't do that.
even if they're fully in love with you and want to marry you, they don't do that shit.
No,
Like-
no. If I'm
Yeah.
really smitten, I'll
That's
clean
right.
the fuck out of my
That's
apartment.
right.
I'll clean the fuck
Good
out of
guy.
it. But if I don't care, don't care. Like I'm not gonna do that. I'll light a candle. I'll go ahead and light a
Wow,
candle.
light a candle.
Yeah.
When a guy has a candle going to his apartment, I'm like, I'm gonna suck his cock.
I'm like, what are you hiding? What are you hiding here?
Yeah.
No,
Oh, but it is nice. It is nice.
it's nice. I feel like I've like gone to like whenever men live together, like in a group home, it is okay, here's the thing about towels. I've never in my life personally ever had a towel that is mildewed before. I don't know why men have so many items that just smell awful and they're like, yeah, it's good. You know, a towel costs like $5, but they're like,
Target.
no, I gotta use this one. It has a sea turtle on it. Got it from Hawaii. My mom got it for me when I was 9, and it was a hand-me-down. Got to keep it. I'm like, it
has holes in
it's
it.
giving you I think it's gonna give you a bacterial skin infection.
Yeah. I'm getting a planter's wart from
Yeah.
this fucking sea turtle.
Busy running industries, dude. Don't have time.
Did you give me a?
Listen, as an entrepreneur, it's really difficult for me to stay on top of everything. That's why.
Okay, no,
You like highways? Yeah. There's gonna be some mildew on my towel.
oh my God, I just like guys are. I don't really understand the level of like inability to clean. Like, dude, it's funny because when I did date this one guy, I felt gaslit by this because I went over to his apartment for the first time and it was so clean. And I was like, oh, tight, great. He's pretty clean. And then as I then progressively started to date him, there was like less and less care and attention to the apartment. And I was like, that I would like wake up in his bed with like like
Oh no.
pennies on me because he would have change in the bed on act or like fucking
No.
crumbs and a bunch of shit, man.
Pennies?
Dude.
I don't even care. It's not even that the pennies are in the bed. You have pennies? Like at all?
Yeah.
Who has pennies?
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Who has pennies?
That's just
What do you
rock
do
star
with those?
lifestyle.
I also went to this guy's place one time and he knew this fucking jarred me, man. We like had hooked up a few times, always at my place. And then this one night he takes me out to dinner and then he's like, let's go back to my place. So I was like, okay, yeah, I've never seen it. We'll go back to your place. If you invite a girl back to your place, like it didn't just happen. I get sometimes it just happens. You're like, oh fuck, my room's a little messed up.
Yeah.
I get it. It happens sometimes. If you're like, I'm going to have her come over. That's my plan. And I'm like, have you literally ever cleaned your house?
Oh my god.
It was disgusting. And I'm not like, I used to be a fucking punk. It was like gross. I was fucking messy as hell. So when I say something's messy, I'm not like,
There was like, it was like there was like empty cans.
I was like, this guy is like, there's cockroaches amongst his things. Like it was
That's
so.
too much. All right.
I
I'll
lit-
draw the line there. I was
He
gonna do
literally-
that, but that's not cool.
I looked at his pillowcase and I was like, oh, he's never washed this. Like he's never. And okay, have you ever gone to a man's house and you look at his toilet and you're like,
that's what I'm saying.
you're like, oh, you didn't even. No, I think that he didn't even think that cleaning a toilet is a
Was
part
possible.
of owning a toilet. Yeah. Like I think he was just like, why would I clean a toilet? I poop in there.
I poop in it.
I poop, it's gross.
I'm gonna
That's so nasty. I don't do that. And you're like, okay. Or like, this is my, when guys, you go to their fucking kitchen and you're like, have you ever cleaned your stovetop?
And
Have you
it's-
ever, why is there just crusted onions and garlic?
Yeah.
They've never in their life even thought.
And there's a smell
That-
like I've been to a guy's house. It smells like when you gut a pumpkin to make a jack-o'-lantern. It just smells like, and it's like July. I'm
so
like, it's
true.
not near
So
Halloween.
specific.
It's
so I am having
on the nose.
Yeah.
It smells
sense
like
memory trauma from that.
like pumpkin seeds. It's like it's not Halloween. It's
Yeah.
fucking June. I don't know where this smell is coming from. But it's a crusty smell.
Let me speak for the guys for a second. You got to tell us some of this shit because we don't just fucking know you have to clean the stovetop until someone yells.
Why didn't your fucking mom tell you?
Well,
Why
your
do
mom
I
or your
have to
dad,
tell you?
Anybody.
Well, just let us know. I'm down to learn. I remember
annoying.
my mom came out in June, and she was like walking around my apartment.
She's
I was
gay?
like, oh fuck, she's gay.
She came out.
My mom was gay, and and she
Good
goes-
one, dude.
She was like,
No.
when's the last time you changed your shower curtain? I was like, what do you mean? She was like, you have to change these.
Yeah, the plastic lining has to be changed. They're literally $4. They're $4 at Target. Whenever there is green gooey substance
Brown,
on it, you
black.
need to change that out. Same with bath mats because you're going on them constantly. Same with towels. Same with
You can wash your
socks.
bath mats, I think, right? You can.
You can, yeah.
can
But same with
sometimes.
fucking underwear. Have you ever been with a guy who just had shredded underwear?
Yeah, I've had this underwear since high school. He's like proud of it. This is
Like
my-
there's
this
like
is my
holes
first
in
pair
it.
of
I'm like,
underwear.
sir, are you homeless? Like what?
Yeah.
They just have like the most. I'm like, did you sit on a cheese grater? Why are they just like there's just fucking? You went from Bruce
Were you
Banner to the
mauled by a
Hulk.
tiger.
Yeah.
You went from Bruce Banner to the Hulk and like all your shit ripped off. Like, gotta put this back on. It's underwear. It costs a few dollars. Just fucking replace it. It's
I have underwear with some holes in it, but I wouldn't wear them on a date. That's like worst case.
But what if you don't know what's gonna happen? So you go out with your boys one night and then you're at a bar, you meet a girl, and then you guys stumble home together and you got your fucking holy moly fucking drawers on.
Also, I have underwear with holes in it. That is period underwear.
Yes.
What the fuck is your excuse? Why are you?
It's his
hanging on
shit
to
underwear.
holy-
He's like,
I'm having a
well, it's
burrito
nice.
tonight.
Yeah. I can shart in these. And
Yeah.
It's chill. Yeah.
Still, I
That's the
don't know. I'm just like, I also don't fucking shop ever. So when I get underwear, it's because my grandma sent me underwear.
You have an Amazon
Jesus
account.
Christ.
Just order fucking underwear on Amazon.
Never gonna.
You were about to order a Rick and Morty condom,
yeah,
so you can
yeah.
just tack some underwear
Yeah.
onto the order.
I want you to know you're 100% right. But no, it's just like these things will not happen.
See, whenever a girl goes over to a guy's place and there is just filth everywhere, in my brain, I go, he doesn't wash his hands and he's going to give me a yeast infection.
Yeah.
He's absolutely going to give me BV
or he's gonna give me a UTI because he doesn't even know that you should like clean your stovetop.
Yeah.
And yep, that's just the indication to me. I'm just like, you don't. Oh man, they're the worst. Like guys that don't know when a dish is clean. You ever just like you go in the dish rack and you're like, these are all dirty. They're like,
Yeah.
I rinsed it off.
Yeah.
I rinsed it off.
That's what I mean.
Like-
It's about, it's not even like, oh, this guy's a mess, like he's gonna whatever. It's like, how do you live in this place? What's going on in
Comfortably.
your mind that you're obviously not aware of your surroundings if you are okay with living and smelling and fucking being all crusty.
And
which is
truly,
nice.
how like your dirty fucking decrepit penis is going to go into my vagina and it's gonna call it's gonna wreak havoc. The flora and fauna is not gonna fucking match up. I'm going to have a growth. My fucking pussy is gonna look like a petri dish.
Yep.
Okay? With a
Dude.
fucking high school science fair
Yeah, like a
experiment.
little green germ.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, the Mucinex booger is
Yeah,
gonna
it's-
fly out of my pussy because of your dirty ass dick.
Guys, fucking keep do whatever you want, man. Who cares?
No.
Don't clean shit.
If you
fine,
want,
don't clean shit.
if you
but
want to
then won't-
procure long-term pussy, then just fucking baseline clean. Baseline. I'm not asking you to be, you don't need to fucking be Marie Kondo, okay? It's like you don't need to be Martha Stewart. But if I look at your space and I'm concerned for my health, if I'm like pretty sure I'm gonna get like a chest cold
Yeah.
from being here. Wow, Liam, what? See, men are they're so fucking
they
Why-
love when we call them gross because it's like, yeah, that's
But
like our thing.
not only that, but why are men so defensive about their shitty things?
Yeah.
They're just like, that's my box of wires.
Yeah.
Those are my charger. That's all the adapters that I've had
Why touch our shit?
for my GameCube back
Yeah.
in 2008.
It's important to me. I need it. I'll need it one day in an emergency, and then it's not going to be there.
You're not gonna.
I need these things.
Yeah, I'm gonna need it. To
It's like a-
fucking hang myself
Yes.
in your bathroom.
I need the metal plaque that says American Spirits up in my living room because it makes me happy. That's why it's
He doesn't
there.
smoke. He just.
I don't smoke, but I like it.
Poser.
I used to.
Creature.
Whoa, okay,
Yeah.
okay. This
So you have it up
redacted.
to make you crave cigarettes.
Yeah, well, it just reminds me of college and taking moles out of bags of light blue American Spirits,
Moles.
tobacco.
Like a moke or a.
Mook,
There's different
chops.
name
Yeah.
chops.
Say tobacco,
and
then weed, rip
and
through a
and
bong.
Oh, a
There's other-
spliff.
No, spliff is
Spliff's like a
that's
joint.
half
This is through the
tobacco
bong.
weed.
It's a much. It'll shut.
Chops.
Yeah, it's
there's a
gonna
bunch of
block
different names
oxygen
for
to
it.
your brain.
Nasty ass East Coast shit. Okay.
Yeah.
It's universal.
I'm from fucking SoCal. We just put weed in bongs. Okay. We don't put fucking tobacco in them.
Yeah,
That's probably
you guys
true.
do.
You guys.
Definitely throw tobacco.
Not I, dude. Not I.
Could be a new thing. We should try it sometime. It's fucking horrible.
Really?
It's-
That
no,
sounds
it's-
right,
horrible.
Just right here. Right
No, it's so bad for you. It's gonna ruin. It'll end your day.
You
It's a
you
real-
like I've seen someone do. I've never done one. It looks like hell, but someone after they do it, they'll literally just have to.
Yeah, you can have a seizure. I've
Have you
seen-
ever done dabs?
Yeah, I'm taking dabs.
That's like one of the worst experiences ever.
Have you?
Yeah, dude.
I haven't. I'm too much of a.
Did you guys ever used to? This is actually what I'm. This is how like white trash I am. You guys ever used to hot knife? Do you know what a hot
Yeah,
knife is?
yeah.
No, you.
You
people
take
are-
two knives and you put a nug of weed. Let's say you don't have a pipe. You put a nug of weed on a knife and you press it down and then you hold it over a stove and then you suck the fumes because it's like burning and it's just like
Yeah, what we would do is we just put the. I feel like-
Why a nut? Why not a spoon? That's so dangerous.
a
Why not
spoon. Well, it's not heroin.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to press them together. So
We're
You-
not
you get 'em-
fucking doing drugs.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just weed.
weed is the gateway drug. Okay, then we get into the spoons.
Knives,
Mm-hmm.
spoons.
The best thing to do is cut a 2 liter in half
Yeah.
and then put like a little rubber band around it so you have your own mask and you put that around your face and then you just hit the nug and it hurts. It hurts.
Because it's.
It's hot.
Oh.
It's
I love
hot
how
smoke.
kids, the craziest thing is that like we did the most insane shit when we were kids. Like I would do like I think it's because when you start to do something, you're like, I gotta get, like when you first start drinking, you're like, I need to make sure I black out.
Mm-hmm.
Or when you start smoking weed, you're like, I'm going to get the highest I've ever been, or I'm gonna take so many fucking mushrooms, I'm going to shit my pants. And now we're like,
you just have like a nice little craft cocktail and like maybe I'll microdose a mushroom just to like, for my depression and just smoke a little bit of weed.
But like as a teenager, I'm like, get me out of here. Like, it's
Me and my brother used to take like carts for like a dab pen, but if we didn't have a battery, we just cut off like a USB cord and take the red like wire out and the black wire out, and you put the red one in, and then if you
like you're like a bomb detonator.
if you do it perfectly, it'll act like a battery. And so if you plug it into a wall, it's the same thing as a battery, and it ripped like a motherfucker. And then
where would the weed? I'm sorry.
it was just the head of a dab card. It's like a dab pen, but if you didn't have the pen, you just do that. And I was like, every time I did it, I was like, this is as close to I can be as like a crackhead.
Yeah.
I feel it.
It's almost there's a line between crackhead and like genius, and I feel like
Yeah, that's why like every crackhead, like I don't know what the trajectory is from like meth to I'm gonna build a robot. But whenever you're in like Venice Beach or something, there's always this like some methed out person who's like, and you're like, they've just collected and accrued a bunch of like plastic and like fucking wires and stuff. And you're like, what are they building?
It's almost impressive.
Is that a millionaire?
Like, I don't.
Is he,
yeah.
Is he eccentric or is he just like fucking?
Yeah.
I feel like also dabs are like, they're like the heroin of weed, where it's like, how can I turn something that is like, come on, people now, smell on your brother, into like, I need a blowtorch to smoke this. Like any drug that you do that requires a blowtorch, you shouldn't be doing. That's just my hot take.
If you got to heat up glass, just
Just maybe
reel it in a little bit.
Yeah, let's just
have a LaCroix, maybe like hydrate, maybe.
Yeah.
take a step back.
Yeah, we could wrap. Ellen, would you like to plug anything? So what's the Instagram?
My Instagram is Ellen Harrold, and Harrold has 3 R's because my last name has 2 R's. Most people think it has 1. I got to do the 3 so that they know for sure it's not 1. And also, just Ellen Harrold with 2 R's was taken. So
that'll do it.
Yeah.
That'll do
it wasn't just like that wasn't available.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, finding you
This was
great.
a blast.
All right. Bye, guys.
Oh.